Hello, everybody, and welcome into another edition of the Sports Blitz, Lake Martin Sports Roundup. I'm Jeff Hines here along with Caleb Brooks. Got a good show lined up for you as we recap the Super 7 that was recently played this past week, basically weekend. Caleb will start touching on area basketball and be a couple more topics that we'll get into as time provides us leading into as the show goes on. Caleb, how was your weekend?
It was a good weekend. Really the first weekend without college football. And, you don't really know what to do with yourself on a weekend like that. But a really good Army and Navy game this past weekend. And, Army getting their third straight win in that series. And, I remember a time when Army couldn't win.
Yeah.
And, you never saw Army win. And I remember cheering for them all the time because they just never got the win. Now they're sitting there with 3 straight wins and, in the top 25. And Navy's the one that's sitting there at, 3-9, 4-8 type season right now. So it's really flip-flop.
Would that be a bucket list thing for you?
Oh, yeah, to go to an Army-Navy game?
Yeah. Me too.
No doubt. You can't beat when you see the Navy students and the Army students and they're in their uniforms and they're all together and the way that looks and just the significance of the game itself. The president shows up there, and it's just one of the oldest games in all of, sports really in general. They've been playing for so long. And the magnitude of the game, it's the only game going on that Saturday before the Heisman Trophy presentation. It's without a doubt something I'd love to go to one day.
I've got a little bit of a connection there. A beautiful young lady that I coached at Hopeville, Taylor Veazey, I actually coached her and both of her brothers while they were there, is married to Captain Bry French, who is he's from Stanhope, played at for Navy in Annapolis, and they actually got engaged right after an Army-Navy game.
Wow.
They just had their first son. Taylor graduated from the University of Alabama. And a kind of a side note to that, Bry was one of the guards at President George H.W. Bush's casket in the rotunda when he was lying in state there. So pretty neat story. And Taylor's always told me, she said, since she's out of school, she calls me Jeffrey. She said, Jeffrey, you need to come to an Army-Navy game. She says the best part of it is prior to the game starting. She said, don't get me wrong, the game is great. She said the march in is unbelievable. Yeah. So that would be something that and when they sing the alma mater absolutely
definitely is also a really cool moment. Seeing Army and Navy run over there to their respect. Well, this weekend Navy walked over there, and then Army running over there to their guys celebrating.
Yeah.
But without a doubt, one of the coolest games in college football, if not the coolest game in college football, and it deserves to have its lone day the way that it does, no doubt.
I totally agree with that. What those guys are, they're football players, but they're soldiers first, and we're very appreciative of their time and their service to the country. As always, we'd like to thank we're here from JR Sports Bar and Grill, and they've been a long-time sponsor of this show and continue to support the surrounding area. I won't say just this community, but the surrounding area. They support it at every turn, and just what a honor it is for us to have them in Alex City.
Yeah, without a doubt. We say it every time we're on here, but I mean JR's really is. One of the best establishments here in Alexander City, some of the best food, one of the best atmospheres. So, whenever you're feeling hungry and you're in the mood for some fried chicken, wings, fries, whatever you want, come on down.
Sure enough. Good menu here and good place to eat. Got plenty of TV, so you won't miss a thing sports-wise when you come in and eat. Let's jump into the recap of the Super 7. What a great Wednesday, Thursday, Friday it was in Auburn, Alabama. Is that did I hear Brett or Randy say this is the 10th or 11th year of rotation of this game?
Pretty sure it's the 10th year.
Okay.
There's been 5 at Bryant-Denny, now 5 at Jordan-Hare.
Okay.
A little bit different venue for us. Me, Randy, Brett, Luke Robinson, all of us were the AHSAA radio network and do all the Super 7 games, and a little bit different viewpoint for these games. Auburn has now moved their press box from midfield to the corner down there where they built the recruiting center, and a little awkward, doing a game from over there. And I heard that, Rod Bramlett at Auburn wasn't too happy having to do that. We did it from his radio booth, and I can understand why. You're sitting down there in the corner of an end zone. You can't really get a good, especially when it was on the whole other end of the field. I saw a lot of people like tweeting at us because we were not able to really describe a lot that was going on the other end. We couldn't see.
Right.
And, we were having to count on like the television sets that were in there that, could give us a little bit better of a view. But that still, it's very awkward. And I don't think that it was very well thought through by Auburn when they built it down there and put it down there, because it's made it really hard to do games. Yeah,
you're exactly right. And it just so happens to be basically over our right shoulder where we sit for Auburn football games. And another thing is they're almost, and you can answer this better than I would know, they're almost blocked out from seeing the Jumbotron to a degree.
Pretty much are, yeah.
You can't.
That's the thing about it. Had they put it on the other end where it was facing the Jumbotron, it'd make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you could count on it. But, you can't see the Jumbotron. You can't see – all you've got we found a little monitor in the place that I'm guessing Rod Bramlett had used, and then they have a TV in there that you can set the channel to what the Jumbotron is showing. But, it's just not the same, and it definitely a different viewpoint. I can understand. I had people tell me that Rod had kind of complained on air some during the year about not being able to see, and I can now understand it after being up there. But, look, great games this past week. There were a few blowouts, but there was also some really, really close ones. And, it's the best of the state competing at, one of the best venues in the state at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
What the Alabama High School Athletic Association, this has got to be a model. The way that we do our Super 7, the way that we do our finals in Legacy Arena with basketball, the way we do the volleyball at the I think they've done it at the what do they call it? The crossplex, whatever it's called, in Montgomery.
You get baseball at Riverwalk.
You do baseball at Riverwalk. They do soccer at maybe at the Emory Farmer Fields. Maybe but the way that our state athletic association has set these championships up is incredible, and it's got to be a model for these other states to follow.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You look at it. The kids here, and, BJCC is going to be getting some renovations done to it soon to make it even nicer. But, they get to play at some of the best facilities. You got Bryant-Denny, Jordan-Hare for football. You got basketball, gets to go to the BJCC. Baseball, where the Montgomery Biscuits play. You said it with volleyball, getting to go to the Crossplex, which is one of the nicest, multi-purpose gyms in the state, basically. And, I know that golf goes to, I think, the Robert Trent Jones course.
Absolutely.
Which is the nicest in the state. So, they treat the athletes the way they should, because if you're competing in a state championship, competing for a title, you should have the best possible conditions to do that. And they provide our student athletes with that opportunity.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback on that, I heard Coach Sav talking about the instant replay that was used in the championship games. There were some calls that were overturned. Yeah. Again, another model for other states to follow. What was your take on that, and the length of time of the reviews?
Yeah, they limited reviews to 2 minutes. If they couldn't make a decision in 2 minutes, then the call stood as it is, and that's the way it should be. They weren't really holding up the game. It didn't affect the game or affect the rhythm. You see it in college football all the time. You'll get reviews that are 5-6 minutes long, and that that's like having 2 TV timeouts basically in one timeout, and can really ruin the rhythm and the flow of the game. They didn't do that. And there were some right calls that got overturned. There was a few calls that they maybe could have overturned but didn't have, all the camera angles to overturn it, and didn't. And you got to applaud them for that too. They didn't just go, we were sitting there watching on TV and we were like, I think this may get overturned, but you just couldn't. You didn't have a great camera view on it, so they didn't do it. And you got to credit them for that. It's good to see review in high school football now, because we've seen plenty of times where there's calls that need to be reviewed that aren't.
And that's going to continue to grow in this state. When we come back, we'll dive into the to recap the Super 7. Stay tuned for more of the Sports Blitz Lake Morning Sports Roundup right after this.
The CA?
A world full of opportunities.
Where are you now? Where are you going? Where do you want to be?
These are all important in determining your path in life.
More importantly, why be ordinary
when you can be extraordinary?
At Central Alabama Community College, you can be anything you wish to be.
Don't put your future on hold and don't settle for less than excellence.
We are Central Alabama Community College.
Central to you.
Central to your success.
Have you heard the news? Your favorite chick is now online. That's right. You can now get Chicken Salad Chick even faster by visiting order.chickensaladchick.com. Chicken Salad Chick, born in Alabama and serving the best chicken salad around.
Gill's Prestige Selection in Opelika has the largest prestige inventory in all of East Central Alabama. Bank financing and interest rates as low as 2.9%. Get approved in less than 3 minutes online at GillsPrestige2.com. Gill's Auto Sale with in-house financing as low as 14.9%. Low monthly payments as low as $299 down and a free 30,000-mile or 3-month powertrain warranty on all Gill's premium pre-owned vehicles. Remember, you got to get to Gill's Auto Sales.
The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider, Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
We have a promise to keep with this community, our pledge of respect for your family and your needs in every funeral arrangement.
A funeral is a time that calls for consideration.
For that reason, we won't consider anyone else.
For a full range of funeral services with sensitivity, compassion, and respect, call Radney Funeral Home at 256-234-2511 or Langley Funeral Home at 256-896-2571. Your hometown funeral homes.
You've probably noticed the new name and the new colors, but what isn't new is our dedication to helping you achieve your financial goals. As a mid-sized regional bank, we're proud to offer you all the advantages of a large financial institution with the personalized service of a small one. This is banking with flexibility. Our name and our colors may have changed, but our commitment to empowering our customers, employees, and the communities we serve hasn't changed a bit. So visit one of our Alexander City locations today. Valley National Bank. New name, new colors, same bankers. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Scotty Fortenberry is Dadeville and the Lake Martin area's full-service Alpha agent. His office on Broadneck Street offers comprehensive life, home, auto, and boat insurance at Alpha's competitive rates. Scotty and Alpha Insurance are Alabama's #1 life insurance company for a reason. You'll always get the personal attention you and your family need. Scotty also has your commercial needs covered, so whether it's just a quote or full insurance evaluation, call Alpha agent Scotty Fortenberry at 256-825-9211.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Welcome back to the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup. He's Caleb Beasley. He's Caleb Brooks. I'm Jeff Hines. When we left the last segment, we were fixing to get into the recap of the Super 7. We were talking about the model that our state has thrown out there for other states to follow. One thing before we jump into these games, the one thing that I did like that I saw that we were doing is on a touchdown that was controversial. We actually didn't review it. We just held the play until the upstairs review official could say, yay, it's good, or nay, we need to look at it a little bit further.
Yeah, remind you a lot of what college and NFL has gone to now, and, it's the way it should be. If you have review, you shouldn't make coaches have to challenge it. If it's close, take a look at it. You already have a break in the action. Mm-hmm. So, it was good to see, and actually saw a touchdown where the other team dropped the ball, and they ended up overturning after they called it a touchdown because it looked like he had called it and was trying to come up with it to show the ref, but he had never had full control of it.
Let's jump in right here, Caleb, with Mars Hill and Linden. Mars Hill wins this game 53-26. You were there the whole time. Yeah, I'm just kind of going to be on the standby. I'll lead you into it and let you go with what you saw and things of that sort. So give us a rundown of Mars Hill, Linden, 53-26, Mars Hill.
The score doesn't really show how good of a game this actually was. Mars Hill did kind of take over, and they got off to really a good start. It was 26-6 at halftime, but really could have easily been a 26-20 game. Linden got down inside the 10 twice and came away with no points in the first half. So, you had your 26-6 score there at halftime. Colt Smith from Mars Hill had just an unbelievable game. He had 17 carries for 160 yards, 3 touchdowns. The first play of the game went 65 yards for a touchdown. Also had 3 receptions for 63 yards and a touchdown. And I think also had a defensive interception as well. So, you see it in the 1A games that you don't see in these upper classification games with a lot of guys playing both ways.
Right.
The quarterback for Linden set a record for completions in a 1A state championship game with 22. He went 22 of 44 for 292 yards, 4 touchdowns, did throw 2 interceptions, but, set a record there, had a good game. And not only did he play quarterback, he played middle linebacker for him as well. So, something that you don't see a lot in the upper classifications, but the score doesn't indicate really how good of a game this was. Linden did get back in the game, made it kind of close, but Mars Hill was just too physical and they ran the triple option. And, they just didn't really have an answer for it. They ran fullback trap most of the game and just, were able to kill them in between the tackles.
Been playing for 5 years, is that right?
Yeah, I think this is actually their first senior class that they've had come through.
So in 1A, Mars Hill takes care of Linden 53-26. In the 2A game, I'm not going to tell a story. This game was a lot closer than what I thought it was going to be. Fife ends up beating Luverne 21-19.
Yeah, look, Fife, we've said it, me and you, doing this for most of the year, that, the team that was the most happy that Lynette went to 1A was Fife.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it here, Fife able to get the win in the state championship, but they had to fight for it. And, Laverne had a few plays. They couldn't kick extra points, which is, ultimately what really hurt them in the game. And, really a good game. It was one of the best games, without a doubt. And we'll get to it. The 5A game was probably the best game.
Right.
But this one was really good. It came down to the end. And Fife had to make some plays. Look, Laverne was up. Laverne went up 6-0, I think, at one point in the game. Fife came back, made it 7-6. It was a 7-6 halftime lead. They made it 14-6, and then Laverne really pushed at the end of the game to come back and get in it, but just was ultimately not able to hit their extra points, and that ended up hurting them in the long run.
So Fife, is this in a row for them?
No, Lynette.
Okay, that's right. Lynette
yeah.
won. So Fife takes care of the 2A state championship over Laverne 21. I
know that we've been doing it for
19,
10 years now, and I think this is the 4th or 5th time that Fife has won it in that 10-year span. So it shows you what they've been able to do at 2A.
In 3A, Flomaton takes care of Piedmont 23-12. You don't hear Flomaton much.
No, it was a surprising result.
So, just a great state championship win for Flomaton.
Without a doubt, this game was very, very good. A lot of good defense played in this game, and not a lot of people. We talked to some media people before the game, and there just weren't a lot of people that had Flomaton coming in and getting this win. And they were able to get up on Thursday morning and really went and took care of business. They had 324 total yards of offense in the game, and it was very even, 166 passing, 158 rushing. They kept Piedmont off balance. Piedmont had a player a couple years ago as a quarterback. He ran the ball 38 times in the game. Well, Flomaton had a running back, DeQuan Johnson. He had 43 attempts for 100 yards.
Unreal.
So
43 attempts.
And the fact that Piedmont was able to hold him to only 100 yards is actually really, really good. But, he was actually the quarterback. DeQuan Johnson, he went 6 of 13 for 166 through the air and then carried it 43 times for 100 yards. And they just leaned on him towards the end of the game, and he carried them to a state championship.
Again, in the 3A classification, Flomaton wins state championship over Piedmont 23-12. Jumping to 4A, not a surprise here at all, as UMS Wright takes care of business over Deschler, 52-0 to win Is this back to back to back? I know it's back to back.
I think it's just back to back.
Their second consecutive 4A state championship.
Yeah, and second consecutive dominant state championship game. And they'll be moving up to 5A when they do the reclassification. We actually talked to Coach Lassiter and Coach Lazenby, former Benjamin Russell coaches. Yeah. They were there this weekend, sat up in the booth with us for a little bit, told us they'll be having to move up to 5A, kind of like St. Paul's had to this last time around, going from 5A to 6A. But look, UMS is dominating right now in 4A. I think this is the 7th shutout of the year, 7 out of 15 games, and only gave up 59 points, which tied, I want to say they said the 1983 team's record for least amount of points given up in a year, and they showed it. There wasn't many people. The winner isn't a surprise. It's the fact that they held Deschler to 0.
Yeah.
And in the fashion that they won the game. And, another thing was they have a running back, Simon Smith, who last year ran for, I think, 245 yards or something like that in the state championship game. He got hurt. They brought in a running back that had to only run 5 times all year, and he ends up going 21 carries for 121 yards and a touchdown.
What was his number? Because I remember watching that. Wasn't he?
He's number 1.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, Edwin Wright is his name, and he's actually only a sophomore. Yeah. And from what I heard from some people, he's getting looked at already by a few D1 schools.
Well, on a side note to this game, I understand the Brain Trust was actually up there with y'all during this ball game. And when I say Brain Trust, Coach Phil Lazenby and Coach Mark Lassiter, Coach Rick Cleveland, and Coach Richie Brooks. I understand they were up there just having themselves a big time and basically saying what was fixing to be run and calling plays out and this kind of stuff. A lot of knowledge about football up there. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we had Coach Rick Cleveland on the broadcast. He did 2 games with us for the AHSAA Radio Network, and you're not going to find many football minds better than his. And it was fun to sit there and listen to him. Fun to see. It was fun to watch how he watched the game because he paid attention to different things that actually taught me a little bit on how to watch football and stuff like that. So, but yeah, a lot of good football minds up there. Coach Lazenby was at Benjamin Russell. He took Benjamin Russell to the state championship his first year in 1996. They lost to, I think, Tuscaloosa County that year, but ended up leaving it off to Coach Martin. He actually went 2 state championships, lost both of them. Coach Martin, his first year, takes him to the state championship to beat Homewood, but and then Coach Lassiter also there with him, who's kind of followed him around from here to go down to Mobile and everything. But really good to have those guys.
And then your dad was a D coordinator on the team that Coach Martin had. And one other thing about Coach Cleveland, he was in Prattville when I was in Prattville. He is by far the best athlete I believe I've ever known.
Really?
Yes, he can throw a football, punt a football. He can hit a golf ball out of sight. He went to Huntington and played tennis. He can shoot a basketball. Unbelievable. We played church ball together. We played church softball together. Just an incredible athlete. Just unbelievable guy.
And really good coach, too.
And a really good coach, too. When we come back, we're going to look at 5, 6, and 7A and recap of the Super 7. Stay tuned for more of the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup right after this.
A new heating and air unit in your home because of the upfront expenses, Williams Plumbing of Alexander City now has primary financing from Synchrony and can now install brand new heating and cooling systems with 0 down, longer terms, and a competitive rate. Call Williams Plumbing at 256-329-8488 and get a free quote and terms and upgrade up to $35,000 in work with approved credit. Williams Plumbing stands behind their work with on-time affordable service for all your heating and air needs, as well as plumbing for 0 down financing and great service. Williams Plumbing.
What's behind the CA?
A world full of opportunities.
Where are you now? Where are you going?
Where do you want to be?
These are all important in determining your path in life.
More importantly, why be ordinary
when you can be extraordinary?
At Central Alabama Community College, you can be anything you wish to be.
Don't put your future on hold and don't settle for less than excellence.
We are Central Alabama Community College.
Central to you.
Central to your success.
Whether it's a dream house or corporate real estate, Concrete has the skill, expertise, and talent to exceed your expectations. Trust Concrete to build a foundation for your future. Our work ethic and dedication are always in keeping the competition on their toes. We specialize in residential and commercial development in the Coosa, Talladega, and Shelby County areas. Call us today for your next project, 256-245-4211, or check us out on the web at con-crete.com.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Everybody wins at Bice.
Right now, you can lease a Jeep Wrangler 4x4 Unlimited Sport for just $349 a month.
Listen up.
Or how about a Ram 1500 Crew Cab leased for only $289 a month?
Get in the game and score big.
New Jeep Compass Latitudes are on the lot and lease for as low as $229 a month. No matter which play you choose, you're always a winner at Bice.
Shop 24/7 at BiceChryslerDodge.com.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
Welcome back to the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup. Caleb Brooks here with Jeff Hines. We're recapping the Super 7. We've been through 1, 2, 3, and 4A. Let's start at 5A, in which, in my opinion, was probably the best game of the whole Super 7.
I think it's everybody's opinion. That is the best game of Super 7.
What a great ball game. Central of Clay County defeats Viger 43-42 in a somewhat of a shootout at times. It just depends during the course of the game.
No, without a doubt. I'm sure a lot of people watching this watched the game on Thursday night. And, look, I talked about it with Bryant Horn after the game, Coach Horn's son. And Viger, Viger out-athleted Central Clay. There's no secret there. Coach Horn knew about it before the game. Me and him talked at midfield before the game. And, he told me that, he just was hoping they'd get on the board against them. And a lot of people kind of felt that way going into the game. I just hope they can get a few points on the board because Viger coming in had outscored opponents. Brett, I think, told you, what was it, 468 to 92 or something like that?
It was gaudy.
Yeah,
gaudy
and they
numbers.
score half the points that they had given up on the year in this one game.
That's right.
A couple of them came from, they turned the ball over. Viger first play of the game trying to run a reverse.
Yep.
They had another turnover where Clay County took it in for a touchdown. And, a lot of mistakes from Viger. Look, Viger wasn't as well coached as Central Clay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it's the truth, and you could tell it on the field. And that's a compliment to Coach Horn with how well he had his guys prepared. Because coming into the game, he actually told us in the coach interview that we played before the game that the one thing he didn't want was to get into a shootout.
Yeah,
and he did it, and they were still able to pull it out. And you have to credit their quarterback. They ran one play on third down, and he threw it short. And I think they were running a post route over the middle.
They were.
They came back and ran the same play, and Coach Horn, in his post-game interview, said, well, it was open, so we decided to run it again.
Isn't that typical Danny Horn?
They did, and you got to credit them. They made a play, got to the goal line, ended up scoring, and then Viger came really close to answering, and 15 seconds left in the game. And couldn't get a playoff.
Yeah.
And, really a weird situation. It's weird for a lot of reasons.
Had no timeouts.
Yeah, no timeout. They ran a screen play at about the 50 and almost busted it for a touchdown.
Sure
Number
did.
4 for them. What's his name? Artel Howell had 6 catches, 200 yards, and then also had a punt return for a touchdown as well, and was without a doubt the fastest player on the field, one of the best athletes on the field. And threw him a screen pass. Clay Central was playing – kind of prevent.
Yep.
Got a bunch of blockers in front of him, and if one guy doesn't kind of get him by the shoestrings, they probably win the game.
That's right.
15 seconds left. A Central Clay guy was hurt. His pad had come out of his shoulder, so he got up and was trying to limp back to get into the play. The referee stopped the play to make him put his shoulder pad back in his jersey. I think Viger thought the clock was stopped.
Yeah.
So he blew it back in play, and they were just kind of nonchalantly running around, and they finally had to hurry him up.
They had a penalty, too, didn't they?
Yeah, so they ended up trying to rush, and they false started. Well, the ref said that the clock would start on his whistle.
That's right.
They thought it wouldn't start till they snapped it. They don't get a snap off, they lose state championship.
Yeah. Talked to Coach Horn prior to this game myself, and congratulated him on the win in the semifinals, and he basically said the same thing that he told you, Caleb, and that was that Viger was going to have to give them the football a couple times, three times, and Central of Clay County was going to have some breaks. As you and I both well know, if you don't have a little luck, you're probably not going to win a state championship.
No.
That's just the bottom line. You're going to be prepared, and you're going to be the majority of the time well coached. But if you don't have a little luck, it's just not going to happen.
Without a doubt. And, I think if you would have told Coach Horn before the game that Viger was going to have 394 total yards, that their quarterback was going to go 15 of 21 for 337 yards and 4 touchdowns, he'd have said, well, we're going to lose the game.
Yeah.
But they found a way to win. You got to give them a lot of credit. Then in his post-game press conference, he said that he should have gotten it at Benjamin Russell.
Right.
And, he's right. We had 3 different chances, really, to get one while he was here. And my junior year, my senior year, and then 2 years after I was gone with Tyree and Daniel Bland and them. I mean, we had really good opportunities those years, but, ran into Spanish Fort twice, ran into a very good St. Paul's team my senior year, and it just didn't work out. But you got to credit him because it's like he said in the post-game interview. They were sitting there at 3-3 at one point after losing to Mortimer Jordan, and he was just wondering if they were going to make the playoffs. They got hot at the right time, which me and you kept telling, look, you got to watch out for him because this time of year is when he turns it up coaching, when his team's turning up, and they did. You give them credit. They went and beat a very good team in Huntsville and Madison Academy.
Right.
Beat Mortimer Jordan, after losing to them. So you just got to give them a lot of credit for bouncing back. They could have quit. They blew a 17-0 lead against Benjamin Russell.
Yeah, that's right.
Could have quit at any point in the year. Had the big loss to Mortimer Jordan that was heartbreaking and could have quit. And instead, they bounce back and win every game from that point on. They go on an 8-game win streak, and they win state championship.
Yeah, and one thing that I got tickled about as I watched some of the post-game interview, and Caleb asked Coach Horn a question, and it was almost, you know how Coach Horn does his eyes, it was almost like he was shocked and was trying to focus in on, who is that? Is that one of my former players back there? It was good, though. It was great that, you were –
when I raised my hand, you saw him, he went, hey.
Yeah, that's right. Sure did. So, again, in 5A, probably, well, we're just going to call it
It was the best. It's one of the best games in recent memory. I mean, really the last one that can compare to that one is Clay Chalkville and Clay Chalkville and Spanish Fort. The year that Tyree and them got beat. Blew the lead to Spanish Fort. Yeah. Clay Chalkville went down and scored late, didn't get an onside kick.
That's exactly right.
Went for it on 4th and 1 from their own 30, and Tyler Johnston, quarterback at UAB now, made a run and sealed the game for him. That's until this game, that was probably the best game we had done as a group with the AHSAA Radio Network.
Yep. Central of Clay County wins 5A over Viga 43-42. In 6A, Pinson Valley beat Saraland 26-17. I watched this game, thought it was a very good game. A lot of athletes running all over the field, everywhere. What was your take on this game?
Well, you look at the numbers, and Saraland somehow ended up with 327 total yards, but when you're watching the game, it just never felt like it.
I totally agree.
The Pinson Valley defense that you watched play Friday night is not the Pinson Valley defense that you saw play Hoover, first game of the year.
Yeah.
And that's a credit to Patrick Nix and his staff for getting his team better as the year went on, and they did. They improved a lot defensively. You watched them play Wetumpka last year. They had to outscore Wetumpka, basically, to win the state championship this year. They did it by playing some defense. They didn't have a lot of success on offense. Bo Nix goes 25 of 35, 306 yards, did throw 2 interceptions. One of them was tipped and wasn't fully his fault, but he was trying to kind of put it in a window that wasn't there.
Yep.
But they put up some numbers offensively. They just couldn't finish drives, really. And it actually took a pick 6 at the end of the game for them to seal the win. They had a chance to go for it on the Saraland side of the field there late, and instead he elected to punt and ended up being the right decision. Had Saraland gone out and scored on them, it would have been the wrong decision.
Yeah.
But, his guys make a play, and Pinson Valley now back-to-back state champs, and from what I understand, Bo has a brother, Caleb Nix, I think is his name, who is he'll be a 10th grader next year, and he'll play quarterback.
Supposed to be a good player.
Apparently, he's already about 6'2", 190 pounds in 9th grade.
Wow. So in 6A, Pinson Valley takes care of Saraland, and then in the final game, which was actually the first game of the Super 7, final game we'll cover. Probably the most dominating performance by any team. Central Phoenix City takes care of Thompson, 52-7. A lot of reasons. Talia's hurt. He's hurt going into the game. He's hurt during the game. However, Jamie Dubose gets his team over the hump. Very good defense, flying her all around. Just good athletes.
It wouldn't have mattered if Talia was hurt, wasn't hurt.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't have. Maybe they would have scored a few more points.
Yeah.
But they couldn't block them up front. And really the only guy that I saw that, kind of held his own was Amari Knight, who's committed to Alabama. The rest of them up front, it was too much for them.
Right.
And it's a credit to Phoenix City. I mean, I said this the other day. My dad kind of disagreed with me. He's seen more games than I have, but I thought that was one of the best high school teams I've seen in the state of Alabama. I mean, they have 20 D1 commits. The Prattville team that we faced, my 10th grade year, had 21 that year and was very good. But they weren't as dominant and as physical as this Phoenix City team, and they come away with a 52-7 victory. Peter Parrish, who's going to LSU, 5 of 9 for 78 yards through the air, ran 11 times for 100 yards, added a touchdown, and going to be a special player at LSU. If they move him from quarterback, then they deserve whatever they get, in my opinion.
Caleb and I were tweeting during this game, and I said, is it really this bad? And he said, it's worse in person than it is on TV. So that'll tell you about the 7A as Phoenix City takes care of Thompson 52-7. Stay tuned for more of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup right after this.
With the season closing down, now's the best time to see the good guys at Alex City Marine for year-end repairs, boat winterization, and boat wrap services. Let Alex City Marine protect your boat through those cold winter months. And if you're in the market for a new boat, make sure to place your customized order for Manitou and Landau now for the 19 season. If you're looking to repower, get the best prices on Suzuki outboards now. Be prepared for the winter months and plan next season with the good guys at Alex City Marine. The pros, the locals know. It's easy to take things for granted, but in the heat of a southern summer, you sure enough know when the air is gone. So when your air system isn't keeping you cool, don't just call anybody. Call Arctic Air, not just another heating and air conditioning company. 256-794-4341. Get your game back.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
You've probably noticed the new name and the new colors, but what isn't new is our dedication to helping you achieve your financial goals. As a mid-sized regional bank, we're proud to offer you all the advantages of a large financial institution with the personalized service of a small one. This is banking with flexibility. Our name and our colors may have changed, but our commitment to empowering our customers, employees, and the communities we serve hasn't changed a bit. So visit one of our Alexander City locations today. Valley National Bank. New name, new colors, same bankers. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup, sponsored by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Caleb Brooks, Jeff Hines here. We just recapped the Super 7 and all 7 state champions. Was there ever an attendance number given?
Yeah,
I never heard it.
Well, for Wednesday night, number one, it set the record for most tickets bought online to any high school event in the whole nation.
Wow.
Over 7,000 tickets were bought online. They're kind of trying to trend towards that. I think this year they actually didn't even send tickets to the high schools. They made you go buy them online to go to the games. But so that set a record for that Wednesday night, and there was over 22,000 people in the stadium. And was the, I think, second highest attended state championship game ever. Number one is, and may never be touched, is Opelika against Hoover back in 2012.
Right.
I think there was about 40-something thousand people there.
Yeah.
At about halftime, it got back down to a normal high school number.
Yeah.
But, to start the game, there's 40-something thousand people there.
Yeah, again, we can't compliment the AHSAA on what a job they do with our championship our championships in each sports. As we close the chapter of high school football, I know the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game's coming up, but basically we close the chapter. We start turning our focus to high school basketball. And what a week for us to kind of really get into it is. It's basically rivalry week for Benjamin Russell as they travel to Dadeville tomorrow night and travel to Coosa on Friday night.
Yeah, going to be a good week for Benjamin Russell basketball. Look, big games. Look, Dadeville's right up the road. So,
get
in your car, drive down there, go watch them play. Also got Coosa on Friday, which is also always a huge game. Coosa beat Sylacauga, who's the defending state champs in 5A. So, tells you what kind of basketball team they have. I do Bama Blitz with Jeremy Law, who does play-by-play for Sylacauga games, and he said that Coosa is very good, very well coached, and has some really good athletes this year. And, told me that Sylacauga is about as good as they were last year. Maybe not, there yet.
Yeah,
but they're going to get there, in his opinion. And Coosa went in there and beat them. I think it was by 13 points. So, going to be a really good matchup. But, got Dadeville first, and Benjamin Russell gets their first win over Reeltown.
Sure did.
64, I think, to 38 or 39, and was really good to see because – you have a lot of guys on this team that they played football. So they're just getting into the basketball.
They are.
And, you went through it when you were a coach. It takes a while.
It does.
When I was coming through and you had, Dre Graham, Dijon Leonard,
That's
LeBron
right.
Johnson, all those guys that they didn't, they were practicing football during football season. And
That's
it
correct.
was really the first time picking up a basketball. So sometimes it takes a while to get back into the flow of it. You're seeing it with these guys. They basically got beat by Spanish 4, and a week later went and played a basketball game, and that's not easy to do.
No, it's not easy to do. And from a standpoint of Coach Daniels, go ahead and put them in the fire. If you don't, you lose all those games because the calendar is just so narrow that you can't fit them in anywhere. You're right, Ben. Our team is 1-3. I say our team. They're 1-3. Got their first win, and you hit on a great point in the fact that they have a lot of football guys: Jacoby Gamble, Zay Stows, Kobe Riddle, those guys that I can just roll off right now. I know Desmond Bishop is a player, but he's not a football guy. But there's several more. Joe Young, those guys, they've been playing football. So I get that. On the flip side of that, our girls team is off to a smoking start. They're 4-0. And you and I talked about it earlier today as we were preparing for this show, is the fact that defensively is where they're getting it done.
Without a doubt, their last two games haven't given up, 40 points combined in the two games. Haven't given up 20 in either one of them. So, really getting it done on the defensive end, and they're dominating. You win 55-18, and then I think the other one was like 44-16 or something like that. When you're winning like that, it's one thing to win with defense. If you're winning 29-16 or something like that, but when you're winning 55-18, you're doing what you need to do on both sides of the ball. And it's really a credit to Coach Moon Upshaw and what she's been able to do. And she's been in the program for a while now, and you're really starting to see that. She's finally got her footprint on the program, and they're playing the style of basketball that she wants to play. And our girls' team is really good right now. And if you haven't gone out to watch them play yet, you need to go out and watch them play because they got some studs out there, and they're doing a really good job. They work, as hard as any group at Benjamin Russell.
Yeah, no question. I was looking at the roster today. This has got to be by far the biggest team that Coach Upshaw, Coach Moon Upshaw, has had since she's been back at Ben Russell. Caleb 5'5", I think, was the smallest player I saw, and they go all the way up to 6 foot. Jalea Caldwell is just a flat-out beast.
Yeah.
And I just call it like it is. She's 5'11", little over, and I'm not knocking her weight because I know a lot of it's muscle. She's right at 200, and just a big body down inside. And I know, Latricia, I know that she's feeding the beast, so to speak, down in there. And from what I can gather, and I haven't seen them play, but I will, they got good perimeter play as well.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I hadn't gotten to see them yet as well. We've been busy with the Super 7 and all that going on, but definitely getting out there and watching them, as soon as I get a chance, maybe next Monday when they play Sylacauga here would be a good opportunity. But, look, they're playing really well, and they've got a big team, like you said. And, when I was in school, we had Jernica Russell, who was, about 6'1", but she was the only one that was really that size.
Absolutely.
The rest of them are very small. Now they've got 3 or 4
of them
running around
they
that
sure
Jernica
do.
size, and it makes a difference on your team. And you can see it on the defensive end. Teams, they're having to shoot perimeter shots because they can't get inside on them. And, we're doing a good job. And, look, the guys are 1-3, but they're going to get better. They, girls, volleyball ended a while ago.
Yeah,
a lot of
absolutely.
them, they've gotten to practice now for 3 or 4 weeks, whereas the guys, a lot of the guys that play significant time are coming over from football, and they're really just starting to get in the flow of playing basketball. So the guys are going to pick it up, and it's really going to be fun to keep up with over the next week playing Dadeville, Coosa, and Sylacauga, which is, really the 3 biggest rivalries to me outside of, possibly Tallahassee and Opelika.
Yeah, no question about it. Dadeville's got a good team this year. They're 4-2 or 5-3, somewhere like that. So the Wildcats go to Dadeville tomorrow night. Coosa is undefeated. Let's just face it. Coach Freeman is doing, in which I knew he would. Yeah. Coach Foster at Dadeville is doing a good job. Jesse was there when I was there and helped when I was in the program. I know Coach Freeman has been under Coach Ballou, who's a Hall of Famer at Coosa. I know what kind of coach he is. I coached against him. So
it's cool to look back and see how you have, Coach Foster that was with you at Dadeville, and now you got Coach Lewis that was with you at Benjamin Russell.
That's right.
And, getting to see what those guys have done. And then also Benjamin Russell's middle school team, really, really good boys team.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
year. I don't know a lot about the girls, but from what I've heard with the boys team, I know at one point I think they were 7-1 or 7-0.
And from what I can gather, they were killing people too. So
not just barely winning. They were putting it on.
So it's rivalry week for the Wildcats, and two big games, and then of course, like you said, Monday Sylacauga comes here. Yeah. So look, Dadeville's not a far trip. Coosa's not a far trip. Just all I can tell you is get there early if you want to get in and get a seat, because it's that hot of a ticket. So basketball is in full swing. Get out and support our local teams as they really start get into the thick of things as we wind up Christmas. We got the Lake Martin Slam Fest, or the Benjamin Russell Slam Fest after Christmas, so plenty of basketball to see.
Yeah, no doubt. And basketball season's a great time of year. I love it, and we're really starting to get into it now.
Yeah.
So.
We'll be back with our last segment of the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup right after this.
Payments as low as $299 down and a free 30,000-mile or 3-month powertrain warranty on all Gill's premium pre-owned vehicles. Remember, you got to get to Gill's Auto Sales.
What's behind the CA?
A world full of opportunities.
Where are you now? Where are you going?
Where do you want to be?
These are all important in determining your path in life.
More importantly, why be ordinary
when you can be extraordinary?
At Central Alabama Community College, you can be anything you wish to be.
Don't put your future on hold, and don't settle for less than excellence.
We are Central Alabama Community College.
Central to you.
Central to your success.
And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
You can count on the caring team at Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation. Our services include physical, speech, and occupational therapy. Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation, 256-329-9061.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control company for a generation, and now we're proud to announce our new name, EnviroCare. You can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs, and EnviroCare's exclusive SentryCon termite colony elimination system that provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. The EnviroCare SentryCon termite protection protects your home year-round. Call the professionals of EnviroCare throughout Central East Alabama. Call for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
You know who thinks all insurance is the same? People who've never had a claim, especially a catastrophic one. That's when you find out exactly what you've been paying for all this time. That's when you learn what type of person your insurance agent is. First Insurance provides you peace of mind, what you need, when you need it. First Insurance. First in coverage, first in value, first in our community.
For all your insurance needs, visit firstinsuranceLLC.com or call 256-329-0888.
At Chicken Salad Chick, we understand the holidays can get hectic. That's why we've got your holiday party needs wrapped up with a pretty bow on top. From takeout to full service, we cater to any crowd this holiday season. Grab your favorite quick chicks or side items to go, or please your guests with a chicken salad sandwich platter, pimento cheese jingle ball, or pumpkin cheesecake. We believe you should focus on making the memories while you let Chicken Salad Chick make the food. Now go enjoy it. Chicken Salad Chick, born in Alabama and serving the best chicken salad around.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Sports Blitz, Lake Martin Sports Roundup. Caleb Brooks here with me. I'm Jeff Hines. The last segment we were talking about high school basketball. I'm going to jump back to the Super 7 real quick because I want to ask you this, and we didn't get to it before we jumped into basketball. So I want to ask you now. Is it of your opinion that 6A may be the toughest class to win a state championship in, or is there somewhere else?
No, I think 6A is without a doubt the toughest classification because when you consider it, you've got some teams that are playing 6A now that should be 5A, back when the classification.
Right.
Benjamin Russell's actually one of them.
Right.
That could be a 5A team.
Right.
Having to play 6A ball instead. And, then you've got your upper echelon 6A schools that, if they did it evenly would probably be 7A schools. Mm-hmm. So, you have really the most diverse and the biggest, I guess, from most students to, the team with the most at the top of 6A to the bottom of any classification.
Yeah.
And so to me that makes it the toughest. And, look, 7A is difficult because it's 7A, but you also have one less round that you have to win in the playoffs. And, you look at it like this year in 7A, the same four teams from one region in the north made it all to the third round, or to the quarterfinals.
Right.
And played each other. Mountain Brook and Hewitt, Hoover and Thompson.
Correct.
And, to me, you don't have a lot of – there's not, when you look at 6A, you had, Spanish Fort having to play against Wetumpka, and then you had Opelika having to play against Daphne. And, there's just a lot – you have to go through a lot more in 6A.
Just to kind of piggyback on that, there's only 32 teams in 7A.
Exactly.
So you got all you got to be is
and
one.
only 16 make the playoffs.
That's right. You got to be
32
one
that make it in all the other classifications that make it a lot tougher.
So if you're one of the 16 best, you're in the playoffs, and that's not.
Yeah. And basically in the South, you had the same thing with Robert E. Lee, Auburn, and Phoenix City, and the only other team was McAdory that made it. So, to me, that's not good when you basically almost had just two regions going at it for a state championship.
Yeah.
Whereas, the Huntsville region up there, didn't have a lot of talent really, and the Mobile region didn't really have a lot of talent. So it was really the East basically with Phoenix City, Auburn, Robert E. Lee. Prattville's the only team that got beat in the first round by McGill-Tulane. And then in the North, it was all from the same region. They'd all played each other already.
So what would they do? Could they go to 44, I guess, or
48?
That would be 16 more teams. But what I'm saying, could they pick up 12 more and go to 44? I mean, I don't know the
I don't know how they can
demographics
do it.
of it.
Yeah, look, I'm not involved with all that stuff. I don't know what they
You don't
could do,
study it, yeah.
But I do know that there's something that needs to be done, because it is a lot easier right now to win 7A than it is to win any other classification.
Right.
Even though, and you could counter that and say, well, they're playing against the best of the best up there, and most of the time they are. But there's also some 6A teams. I mean, Pinson Valley would have beaten a lot of those 7A teams this year. Not Hoover.
Yeah.
We watched them play Hoover, but that's different. That's like saying that, well, Hoover's good, but IMG beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like, yeah, but that was IMG Academy.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
To me, it's very similar. I mean, Pinson Valley was as good as anybody. I think that Wetumpka, I think Opelika, I think that Saraland and Spanish Fort were better than a lot of the 7A teams that even made the playoffs, especially the Huntsville region and the Mobile region.
I got you. As we close out the show, let's jump to college basketball. As most teams are going down the stretch of their out-of-conference schedule, because in January is when they will really get cranked up in conference.
The Big Ten. What's the deal with the Big Ten already playing?
I don't know. I don't get all that, but they're kind of out there on their own. But Auburn's got two I would consider extremely tough road games coming up. They go to Legacy Arena in Birmingham on Saturday to face the UAB Blazers, and then the following Wednesday, which in my opinion is going to be the toughest game that they've had to date, including Duke. And I say that because it was a neutral site game at Duke, where they've got to go to North Carolina State Wolfpack, who has a really good team coached by Kevin Keating, and play that bunch there. What's your take on these two games coming up?
Well, it's going to be tough for Auburn. It's considered, I guess, a neutral site against UAB, but it's a home game.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
in Birmingham. All they're doing is just going to a different arena a mile up the road.
Exactly.
Crowd-wise, it'll probably not be as, if it was at UAB, it would be more of a UAB
at
home
Bartow,
crowd.
sure.
It's going to allow Auburn to have some more fans there, but it's still going to be tough. You're going to Birmingham facing a good UAB basketball team, but then going to NC State's going to be the one. And me and you talked about it. It's we've seen Auburn play neutral site. They're away from Auburn Arena. Now we're going to see them go play an away game.
This is legit.
Yeah, and this is going to be a challenge. And you're going into ACC country. And,
absolutely.
Really it's a battle right now between SEC and ACC is who's the best conference in basketball. And it's very competitive. North Carolina State's very good. They're going to have, students up there, it's not like the SEC. It's not like, watching Alabama or Arkansas.
No.
During this time of year, it's all about football.
Absolutely.
And then when SEC play starts, you'll see the students start
Sure.
showing up.
That's right.
Auburn's kind of – they're in their own category right now because they get good student
Absolutely.
support. But it's going to be very interesting to watch Auburn have to go to North Carolina State and play that game.
Do you know what Alabama's got coming up?
Yeah, Alabama has Liberty on the 18th. They get a little break now.
Yeah.
They play Liberty, who beat Georgia State.
Absolutely.
Who beat Alabama by 20. And then they got Penn State at home, which is going to be a very good one. Penn State beats Virginia Tech.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough game.
And then Stephen F. Austin to round it up before hosting Kentucky.
And I'm going to tell you, Stephen F.
game.
Austin is not going to be a piece of cake either.
No
so,
doubt. And then they get Baylor in the SEC Big Ten
yeah,
Challenge
boy,
later in the year.
that's going to be a really tough one. So both of our big schools here in the state are closing out their out-of-conference schedule with tough games. And again, it's even though it's early, all games, and you and I have debated this, all games are important. There is a better margin for error for basketball teams than there is football teams.
No, but it is important because these are games that are going to help determine. We saw it last year, and Auburn did get knocked out by Clemson, but they got to play 5-seeded Clemson, whereas
exactly.
Alabama had to go play 8-seeded Villanova because they didn't win games that they should have won early in the year.
Right, and we see it all the time. And when it gets down to it, teams that are on the bubble, you will see they'll have it listed, good wins and bad losses. And but two good teams, two good coaches. It's mighty comforting to be able to talk good basketball in the state this time of year instead of continuing to talk football and recruiting. Been a good show today. We thank you for tuning in. Thanks for Tyler Kennedy for producing our show. He's Caleb Brooks. I'm Jeff Hines. We'll see you next week.